You know, the local media has an agenda that they're going to serve. I don't know who's in charge of it or what it is, if it's like a headless monster.
You know, I was pretty happy with that one Gerbils the other night.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, that was a good pizza.
Yeah. Fat wallets and empty hearts. Which,
Empty hearts.
It's insane how little musicians get. So, yeah, if you're interested in support, not just me, but any musician that you like, one of the best ways to do that, it sounds old school because it is purchase their music, purchase their merch, you know.
Hey guys, this is Mark from Rat Rod.
Hi, this is Mikey P from Skell.
Hey, this is Jeff from the Bell Jumpers.
Skell.
Probably Dave Grohl, because he's awesome.
This is Jessica for the band Dimittis. You're listening to Pennsylvania Rock Show.
what's up, everyone? My name is Bill. You're tuned into the episode number 707 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show. You just heard 3 tracks. We started things off tonight with Dragonfly Effect and their song Infected. Then we moved on to a brand new song to build the scene and music from 412 from the band For Those in Question. I just had that band on 3 Questions in a Song. So if you go to buildthescene.com, you can check out that interview and radio episode. Their song was called Rust. One of the people in the band is not originally from this area, so it's kind of about moving into the Rust Belt and what things are like here compared to where he used to live. And then we follow that up with a brand new song by The Anxiety Effect, On My Own, which brings me to the guest this week. What's up, John?
Hey, Bill, how are you? Thanks for having me back.
Thanks for coming on. So you have a lot going on with this single release. I've seen you've been on the radio. You've had a lot of press coming.
Yeah, it's been a little chaotic, unexpected, but yeah, it's been a lot of interesting events unfolding in just a very, very short amount of time. I mean, we're talking like the last 3 weeks. It's been, just been crazy.
Now, I know the last time I spoke to you, it really wasn't a full band, and that's changed recently, correct?
Yeah, very recently. Like I said, it's been the last couple of weeks. When I was last on, we were talking about our single Roots that was released in December 13th of 2022. Throughout the past year, we've been slowly adding a couple guys in there. We got a new guitar player. It was just me and my guitar player. Well, at the time he was recording all the instruments. So he was the guitar player, bass player, and we, drummer, and we were doing all the production stuff ourselves. It was me and Rick Griesbaum. And then we added guitar player Brad Vincent and our bass player AJ Eckert to the mix. And they were kind of like, they live an hour away from us, so it was kind of hard to get everybody together. And then when we started working on getting On My Own finished up, we ended up getting a phone call for a drummer, and Rick is now officially jumping to rhythm guitar. Brad's doing lead guitar, AJ's on bass, and our new drummer Ryan Kearns just joined us like 3 or 4 weeks ago, just before like New Year's. It was crazy. And then we ended up playing a show like out of nowhere. So it's just been snowballed into like this, we went from being a studio project that kind of had some leverage on the last couple songs to going out and playing shows and getting all this recent press coverage. It's been fun, and it's been interesting, tiring at times, but you got to strike while the iron's hot, as they say. So I'm just trying to keep up on everything and make sure everybody knows what's going on.
So you know the drill here. I'm going to ask you to talk about the song.
Yes.
It's your MTV moment where you get to do a storytellers. I was reading over the lyrics a little bit. I have an idea of what I think it's about, but clearly you know what it's about. So.
Right. It's the song to me personally has a couple of different meanings to it, but the general idea of it is that, when you just get behind your own mental blocks and, you get inside your own head and you start doubting things, and then it leads to like depression and things like that. And if you don't have the right people around you to pull you out of that scenario, because you just, you can't break out of it yourself. The song's just about needing certain people to, kind of pull you out of it and make you just get back to just being yourself and being okay with it and not being stuck in your own head all the time. I think we've been getting so many comments and I've had so many conversations with people just in the last couple of days where they're just like, this song is awesome. Like, I go through the same thing, and it's like, it just seems to be resonating with a lot of people for different reasons, but generally also the same reason of, why I wrote it. So it's the feedback's been really interesting. We've had people coming to us to tell us that, it's made them feel better. And that just, to me, you can't put a price on that. It's just been awesome to hear what, how people are relating to it. And it shows with the numbers and stuff. I mean, it's nothing like huge, but we're already over 1,000 plays in the first week on Spotify. And for a band that hasn't been playing out and doing anything, I consider that a pretty good accomplishment for what it is. So I'm really excited to see what happens after this with it. So
just a side note for those of you that are listening, watching us live, if you make comment on the video, I can make you famous, or at least make a few people see you. So I don't know. Do you know this person?
That's Chuck Kohler. He's actually, yes. And I do want to give him a big shout out and a big thank you, because he's played a big role in getting us both the recent press coverage on both the radio and with our papers. He played a big role in that on both Roots and this one. So yeah, he's a very good friend. He's a very big supporter. He listens to all kinds of music. He's a really good dude.
Very cool. So Chuck, thanks for commenting and for hanging out. So I'm going to guess, just from what you've been telling me, that the songwriting process on this one was probably fairly similar to your old stuff, but that's probably going to change here shortly.
It changed a little bit with this one. I mean, the process was the same, where Rick and I actually started this song when Roots was finishing up and coming out. So the reason why it's taken so long is because the song's gone through a lot of changes. I mean, when we first started it, it was nothing like it is now. But we ended up making changes to it along the way. And then when Brad and AJ came in, we had some studio sessions with them, and they came in, and Brad really helped rewrite a lot of the stuff, because we were originally writing it on 6 strings. So him and Rick started to rewrite it with 7-string guitars, so we can get a little bit more of the heavier crunch out of it. And then we ended up tracking it the same. We did everything in our studio, or with all the gear that I've got. We did some stuff here in my room, and then the majority of it was, we record everywhere, with the mobile stuff, whatever can fit our schedules and whatnot. So the process started the same, and then Brad and AJ came in and helped out with the rewrites. And then we ended up actually sending it to a different engineer. And now that we've got, now that Ryan's come in as the drummer, we are going to actually end up starting to work. We've actually got a new song that Rick and I have the bulk of it done, but we're actually rehearsing it as a group and probably making some changes to it as a group, so we can get ready to play it at this next show we've got coming up. So the process has been the same, but now that we're adding the guys, it probably will change, and we'll end up having more input from everybody on the next songs that are coming out.
This is usually where I ask you about the best pizza you've had, but we've been there.
Yeah, we've been there.
So and for anyone who's like, what are they talking about? I ask a question, what is the best pizza you've had, because you're a musician. To find out what John's answer is, go back to that December episode from 2022. It's on there. It will be linked in the show notes. All you have to do is go to buildascene.com, find this episode, and then click on the anxiety effect, and it'll take you to the last episode, so you can listen to it too. Because it's
I brushed over that one a little bit today, so because I wanted to make sure that we didn't repeat too much. But yeah, with everything that's going on, I don't think that's going to be a problem. So,
so if you were given 30 seconds for a radio spot or 30-second TV commercial to try and get people to check out your band. And 30 seconds isn't a lot.
Right.
What are the highlights that you would throw out there?
That's kind of hard to say because we don't really have a whole lot under our belt yet. I would definitely spotlight this song as best as we could, and probably parts of Roots if I could. I mean, if we're only working with 30 seconds, I don't know. I would try to just make sure that they knew that we were getting ready to release some new stuff and we're getting back out there. Probably spotlight a little bit from our first show that we had with the crowd responses we had and stuff were great. So if we can get some of that in there too, just kind of hype it up a little bit, but we don't have a whole lot to go off of at this moment, but hopefully that's going to change. I just try to spotlight the stuff we're doing as a full group now as much as possible.
All right, so we're going to pause for a moment, take a break. We're going to hear a track from, I could almost call him my neighbor. He just lives right on the other side of the river, which is like a street from here.
Right.
He does pretty much what you were doing. He has some videos on Music from 412 where he is in costume. So if you don't know any better, you think it's multiple people. It is literally just him.
Oh, okay.
Played all the instruments. He did all the singing. And in the video, he's playing all the instruments and doing all the singing. The band band project. What would you call that? Project?
Yeah. I mean, if he's looking to add people to it, then, eventually it'll become a full band.
But he goes by Rat Bastard.
Okay. I've seen you post some stuff.
And the name of the song is Let My Demons Run. We're going to give that a listen and we will be right back. What's up, everyone? It is Bill from Music from 412, and I am here to update you on the ticket giveaways that Dresky Entertainment, in conjunction with Music from 412, have available for your winning ability. That's a really weird way to say that. However, what you do is you go to musicfromthe412.com and click on contests, and it will show you what the upcoming concerts are that we have tickets for. Concerts and comedic events currently. And what you do is you select any of the ones that you would like to take a shot at winning tickets for. You click on the event. You will see over here where it says share this event. You will click on the Facebook share button. You will tag Dresky Entertainment. And Music from the 412. And then press the post to Facebook page or button, and it will share for you. There it goes. And then the other thing you have to do is scroll down to the giveaway submission form that asks for your name and your email address. It asks you to verify that you shared the event on Facebook and tag both Music from 412 and Dresky Entertainment and hit submit. We only use those emails to send you your tickets. So that should be made note of. I'm going to go back to the contest page, and here are the upcoming shows that we have for ticket giveaways. We have Extreme with Living Color on February 6th. That is at the Carnegie of Homestead Music Hall. We have Enough is Enough at the Craft House Stage and Grill on February 12th. February 16th, a little comedy for you with Pete Corral at the Oaks Theater. Trace Lads with Kilmaine Saints at Jurgles, February 23rd. Amy Mann at the Carnegie of Homestead Music Hall, February 27th. Punchline and Have Mercy at Preserving on March 9th. My Son the Hurricane at the Craft House Stage and Grill, March 14th. March 23rd, the Clarks at the Craft House Stage and Grill. March 28th, Lil Xan, Lexaterrestrial, Slimmy at Enclave. And keep your eye on musicfromthe412.com/contest for more tickets to be added. And make sure you tune into Music from the 412, both on the TV side and the radio side. We have lots of ways for you to do that. If you go to musicfrom412.com/apps, we have Roku apps, we have Android apps, we have iOS apps, or you can just take in everything we have to offer right on the website, musicfrom412.com. And I will see you Monday nights on the Pennsylvania Rock Show. So through the magic of video editing and recording, that was me on Sunday. I was a lot scruffier. I look a little bit different today. You are back with us here on Build These Scenes, Pennsylvania Rock Show, featured all over the world. We're on musicfrom412.com, RooterooRadio.com in San Diego, California, 107.1 KFGD, and megarockradio.net in St. Louis. We are on xrpradio.co.uk in Scotland, Glasgow, Scotland, up in the Highlands. We are on oldiesxl.com in Philadelphia. I feel like I'm forgetting someone because I always do. But if you go to buildascene.com, they are listed there. With me tonight, if you're just joining us, is John from The Anxiety Effect. We listened to their song earlier called On My Own. Just about a week old at this point from the release?
Not even tomorrow. Well, at midnight, it'll be officially a week. Yeah.
If you go back a little over a year, you can find this same situation where they released Roots and John was on for the first time. December, what did you say? The 22nd? December
13th is when the song
13th.
came out. Yeah. And then it was shortly after that you had me on.
But anyway, let's get into some of my, let's see if I can drum up a question I haven't asked you. If you could open for any band in any location, it doesn't even have to be a standard venue. Like you could go play under a bridge somewhere. Who would you want to play with, and where would you want to play?
Just one band, or like
Well, I mean, if you want to put together a bill, and
these days, some of the stuff that I've been listening to lately, I would love to play with Caskets, Dayseeker, Beartooth, In Flames. That would probably be my top choices. I really wouldn't care where, honestly. At this point, I mean, my first show that I've played in 10 years was on New Year's, and we didn't even announce it. We just kind of popped in, and, a bunch of our buddies were having a show. So it's like we dropped in and we played 3 songs, and just it didn't matter that we weren't announced or anything. I was just thrilled to be back on a stage. So it really wouldn't matter to me where it was. Especially if I got to share it with any of those bands. Probably throw Wage War on there too. They're one of my favorites. So yeah, it's just to be back playing in general has been, it doesn't matter where it is. I'll play wherever. I've missed it for 10 years, and I'll do it anywhere, pretty much with anybody. But if I got to do it with them, yeah, it wouldn't matter. Just to be with those guys any of those bands would be fantastic.
I'm going to go off on a tangent here for a moment. John and Lima Chica just checked in. I sent her the link to your website earlier. She owns First Angel Media, and I was like, listen, you're going to like these guys. You need to go check them out. So what we're going to do here, since Jonna piped in and gave me perfect segue for it, I am going to pull up your website, put it up on the screen. And as soon as there it is, I'll put the address on the screen too, theanxietyeffect.net. Do you want to talk about the video a little bit while I have this up here, or is there anything in particular that you want to mention about the website, since I decided to pull it up and not tell you about it?
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's everything that we have available is on there. And again, like I said earlier, it's like this has gone from like just a studio project with 2 guys to a full-fledged band getting ready to book as much as we possibly can, schedules permitting, that I haven't had a whole lot of time between promoting, releasing the song, being, talking to the, radio stations and the press people and whatnot. The last couple of weeks has just been nuts, and I haven't been able to update the website to where I want it, but everything that's on there is, you can join our mailing list if people are, more prone to like getting direct information from, bands they listen to or whatever. They can sign up to join our emailing list, and that way they don't have to deal with the social media thing. I have a lot of people that like to do it that way. And if you're a social media buff, then, we're on all the major platforms. We're trying to scrounge up some more content for everything so that we can engage with everybody as much as possible. The YouTube video, the stream video that we have for On My Own, if you're listening and you want to jump in there and take a listen to the song and you throw a comment on there or something, we usually are pretty quick to reply back and try to engage with everybody as much as possible. So, other than that, there's probably going to be some updates coming to it, but the general information that you need is all on there. All of our music's on there. We just started adding some photos and stuff because we just started playing again with the new lineup. So yeah, it's going to be the central hub for everything if you're taking interest in what we're doing.
Before I click on the show tabs, are there any listed there?
There are 2 right now.
Okay.
we've got a couple that are the next big one that we've got is here in our hometown. We're doing it's called Vet Jam. And it's going to be, it's one of these things that it kind of started off with like a early Saturday ordeal or Sunday ordeal where a couple of like acoustic acts and a couple of guys got together, just try to raise some money for the local vets and for a couple of vet organizations. And then it's over the last few years, it's just grown into this massive event every single year. And it got so big that they're doing 3 days this year. 2 stages on the second day. And we're opening the weekend on Friday with the metal night. So we play at 9:00 that night. It's in our hometown of Bradford, Pennsylvania. So that's the next big one that we've got. And then there's a couple other ones that are we're just waiting for details. And then there's another big one we have called Biketoberfest. That's going to be in October. That's about half hour away from us in Kane, Pennsylvania.
Very cool. I'm going to go ahead and pull that down.
There's only 2 on there right now, just because we haven't, like I said, we've been a full band that has been ready to start doing this for only a couple weeks. The drummer just joined us a couple weeks before that New Year's gig. So we're slowly building up to where we can start, booking shows and possibly talking about, because Rick's also in another band. So we got to work around that schedule and whatnot. So, but we are trying to get out there as much as we can this year.
Here's Chuck trying to help you out here. Says, I think it would be very smart if anyone in the Pittsburgh area wants to have an up and coming band and come in and get in on this before they totally blow up. Hit them up now before it's too late.
Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate it. Yeah, he's a great guy. I love him.
I need to put my graphics back up. There they are. So being not really new, but sort of new has to be a weird situation for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
for anybody who doesn't know the history, which I'm sure is probably a lot of people that are listening, but I feel like I tell this story so many times to people I talk to about it. But the band originally started in 2011 with a completely different lineup, completely different sound. And we were going as hard as we could with it for about 2 years. And I had put so much time and energy and money into building the brand up as best as I could. I just didn't feel it would be, just wouldn't be smart to just throw it all away. So throughout the years, there was a period where it was just a studio project before any of the guys that are involved in it now were involved. And I had various musicians coming in to record tracks and work on stuff with me. And then I released what I thought was going to be the final release under this band name, just because I was getting to the point where I just couldn't get anybody on board. And then my buddy Rick and I started to talk about doing something, and we ended up keeping the name and plowing forward with it. So from the time that the band actually stopped being an actual full functioning band to now, it's been about 10 years. So yeah, it does feel like it's a brand new beginning.
That feels like it could be a song.
Yeah. There's probably one coming. There's definitely some content there that I feel like I need to like use the music and get it out of my system a little bit.
I probably asked you this, but I'm going to ask it again. So you guys head out on your first tour, and you hire me to drive the bus for some reason. What am I going to play in between shows when we're traveling?
Music wise?
Mhm.
Oh, to accommodate everybody. The bands that I mentioned, if we were to end up playing with any of them, all of them would probably be in the playlist. But if we're going to go through like the whole library of stuff, I mean, Brad and AJ are definitely more of the metal or more metal. Like they listen to a lot of Pantera, Avenged Sevenfold, things of that nature. Knock Loose is one of Brad's favorites right now. Rick and I are more on the same level as far as like the melodic stuff goes. But if we're going to go into the back catalog, it could be anywhere from Metallica to Nirvana, Foo Fighters. I mean, anything pretty much anything that's got distortion in it, it's probably going to be playable on the playlist. So, I mean, it's a diverse there. And our new drummer, Ryan, he's only been playing for about 4 years, but the first gig that he had was a cover band, and they covered everything from, 90s music to, Guns N' Roses and 80s hair metal. And, I'm not really sure if, that's what he would be totally into as far as listening to on a regular basis, but, you'd have to cover probably the last 30, 35 years of rock and metal to accommodate everybody.
I think I'd be comfortable with playing that. It's
okay.
It's kind of my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, a lot of the stuff that you're doing on the shows and whatnot, it'd be right up the alley. So you probably enjoy driving the bus.
So we're gonna take our second break of the show. We are going to hear from one of my favorite Pittsburgh bands currently. They're called Theriaca, and we're gonna hear their song "Embrace." And on the video side, I'm gonna give away some tickets. So stick around. What's up, everyone? It is the time of the night where I'm going to give away 2 tickets to a select Drusky Entertainment show. If you're interested in winning tickets from Music from the 412 in conjunction with Drusky Entertainment, go to musicfromthe412.com/concerts. Tonight's show that I am giving away tickets for is Extreme with Living Color on Tuesday, February 6th. That is a 7 p.m. door, 8 p.m. showtime. The tickets for that show, should you not win tonight, range from $49.75 to $69.75. It is at the Carnegie of Homestead Music Hall in Munhall, Pennsylvania. Once again, it is Extreme with Living Color on February 6th. I have quite a few names to rattle off here of people who have signed up for this one. We have Tom Trainer, Jeff Brooks, Derek Reed, Tina Leydig, Keith Leydig, Andrew Carr, Brent Felak, and Nikki Prasa. I am going to add them, I think, 2 more times. And then I'm going to shuffle it. So now there are lots of them on there, 3 each, and shuffled. And I'm going to go ahead and press the button to get that thing spinning. And momentarily we will find out who wins the 2 tickets to Extreme Thicker Than Blood tour with special guest Living Color. And our winner of those tickets is Tina Leydig. So Tina, keep an eye on your email. You'll be receiving an email from myself and then probably one from Adam Valen or the ticket vendor for this particular show. I'm telling you how to get your tickets. Let's try again. They will either send you the tickets via email or tell you where to go to pick them up. I'm going to head back to my interview with John from the Anxiety Effect. And once again, head over to musicfromthe412.com for your ticket contest chances and all things local music here in the 412 and surrounding area. Hey, we are back. If you're just tuning in, with me tonight is John from the Anxiety Effect. We are on segment 3 now. We talked a little bit about the new track On My Own. You've seen the website. We've talked about recording processes. We've talked about them for some reason trusting me to drive their bus. Lots of stuff to go back and watch later. You can do that on Roku and Fire TV. We have Apple and iOS, Apple and Android apps that you can use. All of that can be found on Music from 412. You could go to buildscene.com to find most of the episodes of the Pennsylvania Rock Show and Through Questions in a Song. Pennsylvania Rock Show goes back to episode number 289. This is 707. So quite a few episodes on there. Up until 289, we weren't recording them with video we did record audio, but a lot of it was done live, and there was a lot of shenanigans, and you won't hear any of those episodes. Anyway, yeah. But they are there, 289 through 707, and who knows how many more. So, John, why don't you tell me about something embarrassing that's happened when I know it's been a while since you've been on stage, other than this last one here on the New Year's. What's something embarrassing that's happened while you've been performing?
This actually happened with this band. It was, I think, our second show. We were at a local club they've just recently reopened under new owner, but the original owner was a friend of mine that just passed away not too long ago he had a brief battle with cancer. But we were at his venue, and we were playing with a band called STEM, which is out of Niagara Falls. And a lot of people might know who they are because they are the band that has the theme song to the UFC, the Face the Pain. That's theirs. Good friends with those guys, great dudes. If you guys are into the same kind of stuff that we're doing, go check them out. But we were playing a show with them, and we had just gotten my guitar player at the time, Dane, had just gotten his brand new guitar rig. And we were in the middle of the set, and somehow, I'm not sure how it happened. I was running my wireless, but he was still on a corded guitar amp. His cable got wrapped up in my leg, and I went to go across the stage to get back to the center because I was walking back and forth and trying to interact with the crowds on both sides of the stage. And the cable's wrapped around my leg, and I pulled his brand new guitar head right off the cabinet. And not only did I pull it off the cabinet, but it landed face down where the guitar cable that goes in the input jack landed right on it, and it smashed the jack and ripped the jack right out of it. This was probably, I think, the second song into the set.
Is that the definition of showstopper?
Yeah. And if looks could kill, as soon as he saw that happen, he turned and looked at me. I would have died right there on the spot. He recovered really quickly though. And because he knew that we were it was still early in the show, and he was really mad that it happened because he literally just got it like 4 days before that. But he kind of looked at it on the floor, and he gave me a dirty look, and then he turned around and said something smart to the crowd and just kind of picked right up where we left off. And then we dealt with it afterwards. But yeah, I pulled it right off the cabinet and smashed the input jack right in on it, and it was dead on arrival.
Oh. Wow.
250 to 270 people in the room. Yeah, it wasn't a very good highlight moment for me.
Let's see. We have a comment. Let's see if it's Jonna reacting to your story. Oh no.
Yeah. It was it was bad. As a musician, you usually don't have a whole lot of money to begin with, so it's like, you buy brand new gear and that happens. It wasn't fun.
So we're nearing the end. We have about 3 minutes left. If you could have a seat on a bench next to your musical idol, who are you looking to sit down next to, and what one question would you ask them?
Okay. I think you've asked me this one before.
I might have asked you that one.
I'm pretty sure you did. And I know what my answer was at that point. I think my answer the first time around was Maynard Keenan from Tool.
That sounds right.
But if I had already talked to him and I had a chance to do it again, I mean, when growing up, I think that the two biggest influences I had were him and Kurt Cobain from Nirvana. And if it doesn't matter, if we're talking alive or dead, then, he would probably be my next choice. I think that a lot of his ideas about music itself was underrated. I mean, we already know as a whole, Nirvana wasn't exactly the most talented group, but I think that the reason why they resonated with so many people was because they kind of put a nail in a coffin on a lot of the faker, just the stuff that wasn't really resonating with the newer audience, that was the younger generation that was coming up. And I think that with his mindset of what music should be, where it should just be raw and real, I think that resonated. And I'd love to have a conversation with him about maybe even today about some of the stuff that goes on in the music industry, because I'm sure that he wouldn't be too keen on how a lot of it's handled these days.
I'm glad you used the word raw, because when I think back to the grunge movement, it was like raw, pure anger in a lot of it.
Right.
And really that's kind of your target audience if you're going for the teens, because there's a lot of angst.
And it's weird.
And I was in that target audience when that came out. So
I feel like that there's a shift, because it's like, a lot of the stuff that's out now in rock and metal is still following the roots of all that. But a lot of the stuff that's in the mainstream, if you will, music is like, it's the same overproduced sound that, in a lot of the, I was actually just reading an article the other day where Pandora is one of the bigger internet radios, and them and iHeartRadio, and there was another one, but they did a study where the late 90s and early 2000s have been getting a lot of hits on playlists and stuff. And it's not our generation that's doing it, that grew up with it, or should I say it's not just us, but it's a lot of the younger generation that's coming up, because they're resonating with that stuff better than what's being put out there today. And I think that speaks volumes about the kind of music that we're into, and the bands that we're following, and the stuff that we grew up on, because everybody has some sort of issue or anger with the world around them these days, especially, today. And I think music really helps people cope with that.
There's definitely a lot of, what's the word I want to use? It's very divided.
Yeah.
There's a division, and
it's done
a
on
lot of anger, and for sure.
And I think that, when you go out and talk to people one-on-one, we're not all that different. And I think the idea amongst the normal people is that we're all down here and we're getting tired of being pushed down by the people that are up here. And I think that a lot of the newer generation, especially, like I talk to a lot of younger kids, because I mean, my brother's got younger kids and stuff, and they've got friends that I know, and, and I talk to a lot of them, and, their frustrations are, it's like, the older generation is talking down on them because they're not working steady jobs and doing this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, but there's really no incentive for a lot of them to do that anymore. When, our parents were growing up, they had the incentive to work 40-hour weeks, and they could afford a home and groceries and all that other stuff. Now you have to have a 40-hour a week job plus drive Uber on the side just to pay for groceries every week, so
right.
The younger generation has a reason to be mad. And I think that that's why a lot of the music from our generation and a lot of the newer bands that are coming out that are kind of going back to that sound or that style is starting to make its way back into, I guess, the mainstream picture. Cause I think a lot of people just resonate with it better.
I think we're going to end on that note. I want to thank you for hanging out with me on episode 707.
Absolutely.
And for those of you that are new to this show, in about 20 minutes, if you go to musicfrom412.com/radio, buildascene.com/radio, or xrpradio.co.uk, you will get to hear the full radio version of this, including all the songs that I've mentioned, as long as I get it edited quickly. We have two more tracks that I'm going to play tonight. They are The Fall of Me and their song Parasite, and Drown the Deep, Black Sun Drive. And make sure you check us out each and every Monday at 9 p.m. And if you're in a band, send some music. And on that note, John, I am going to tell you good night.
Same to you.
And,
Thanks for having me, Bill. I enjoyed it.
Everyone that's been hanging out with us live, thanks for hanging out. Those of you that popped into the chat room and made comments, thanks for being part of the show.